Hello, friends. I've got this book, Sapiens, and in this specific session, I'm going to read out a few excerpts from this book. I'm totally engrossed in this book. I'm loving every page, every chapter that I'm reading. Very beautifully written. Great form of storytelling. Brief history of mankind is how it's titled, but I think it's not brief. It's really nice and elaborate and detailed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out to you a few excerpts from the first few chapters of this book. And the objective is to share something which really got me excited. And I hope that on listening or watching this video, you too get excited. And if you've not read this book, you may want to pick it up and read it. It's a great read. It's a great book to have and even use it as a reference guide to a lot of other research that you may want to do later, relating to mankind, relating to civilizations, humanity, religion, dynasty, empires, industrial revolution, agricultural revolution, and so on and so forth. So let me jump right in. About 14 billion years ago, matter, energy, time, and space came into being in what is known as the Big Bang. The story of these fundamental features of our universe is called physics. About 300,000 years after their appearance, matter and energy started to coalesce into complex structures called atoms, which then combined into molecules. The story of atoms, molecules, and their interaction is called chemistry. About 4 billion years ago, on a planet called Earth, certain molecules combined to form particularly large and intricate structures called organisms. The story of organisms is called biology. About 70,000 years ago, organisms belonging to the species Homo sapiens started to form even more elaborate structures called cultures. The subsequent development of these human cultures is called history. 3 important revolutions shaped the course of history. The cognitive revolution kick-started history about 70,000 years ago. The agricultural revolution sped it up about 12,000 years ago. The scientific revolution, which got underway only 500 years ago, may well end history and start something completely different. Homo sapiens has kept hidden an even more disturbing secret. Not only do we possess an abundance of uncivilized cousins, once upon a time we had quite a few brothers and sisters as well. We are used to thinking about ourselves as the only humans because for the last 10,000 years, our species has indeed been the only human species around. Yet, the real meaning of the word human is an animal belonging to the genus Homo. And there used to be many other species of these genuses besides Homo sapiens. Humans first evolved in East Africa about 2.5 million years ago from an earlier genus of apex, which were called in simple terms southern apes. Humans in Europe and Western Asia evolved into Homo neanderthalensis, man from the Neander Valley, popularly referred to simply as Neanderthals. Neanderthals, bulkier and more muscular than us sapiens, were well adapted to the cold climate of Ice Age, Western Eurasia. The more eastern regions of Asia were populated by Homo erectus, called the upright man. On the island of Java in Indonesia lived Homo solensis, man from the Solo Valley who was suited to life in the tropics. Big people who need a lot of food died first. Some smaller fellows survived much better. Over the generations, the people of floors became dwarves. This unique species, known by scientists as Homo floresiensis. Then we had the in 2010 there was the when scientists excavating the Denisova cave in Siberia discovered a fossilized finger bone, which was the genetic analysis proved that the finger belonged to the previously unknown human species, which is named Homo denisova. While these humans were evolving in Europe and Asia, evolution in East Africa did not stop. The cradle of humanity continued to nurture numerous new species such as Homo rudolfensis, man from Lake Rudolph, Homo ergaster, working man, and eventually our own species, which we've immodestly named Homo sapiens, wise man. Most notably, humans have extraordinarily large brains compared to other animals. Mammals weighing 60 kilograms have an average brain size of 200 cubic centimeters. The earliest men and women, 2.5 million years ago, had brains of about 600 cubic centimeters. Modern sapiens sport a brain averaging 1200 to 1400 cubic centimeters. Neanderthal brains were even bigger. The fact is that a jumbo brain is also a jumbo drain on the body. In Homo sapiens, the brain accounts for about 2 to 3% of the total body weight, but it constitutes or it consumes 25% of the total body's energy when the body is at rest. By comparison, the brains of other apes require only 8% of the rest time energy. We assume that large brain, the use of tools, superior learning abilities, and complex social structures are huge advantages. It seems self-evident that that these have made humankind the most powerful animal on earth. But humans enjoyed all of these advantages for a full 2 million years, during which they remained weak and marginal creatures. Thus, humans who lived 1 million years ago, despite their big brains and sharp stone tools, dwelt in constant fear of predators, rarely hunted large game, and subsisted mainly by gathering plants, scooping up insects, stalking small animals, and eating the carrion left behind by other more powerful carnivores. A significant step on the way to the top was the domestication of fire. Some human species have made occasional use of fire as early as 800,000 years ago. By about 300,000 years ago, Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and the foragers of Homo sapiens were using fire on a daily basis. Humans now had a dependable source of light and warmth and a deadly weapon against prowling lions. But The best thing fire did was cook. Foods that humans cannot digest in their natural forms, such as wheat, rice, and potatoes, became staples of our diet thanks to cooking. Fire not only changed food's chemistry, it changed its biology as well. Cooking killed germs and parasites that infested food. Humans also had a far easier time chewing and digesting old favorites such as fruits, nuts, insects, and carrion if they were cooked. The advent of cooking enabled humans to eat more kinds of food, to devote less time to eating, and to make do with smaller teeth and shorter intestines. When Homo sapiens landed in Arabia, most of Eurasia was already settled by other humans. What happened to them? There are two conflicting theories. The first, the interbreeding theory tells a story of attraction, sex, and mingling. As the African immigrants spread around the world, they bred with other human populations, and people today are the outcome of this interbreeding. According to interbreeding theory, when sapiens spread into Neanderthal lands, sapiens bred with Neanderthals until the two populations merged. If this is the case, then today's Eurasians are not pure sapiens. They are a mixture of sapiens and Neanderthals. Similarly, when sapiens reached East Asia, they interbred with local erectus. So the Chinese and Koreans are a mixture of sapiens and erectus. The opposing view, called the replacement theory, tells a very different story, one of incompatibility, revulsion, and perhaps even genocide. According to this theory, sapiens and other humans had different anatomies and most likely different mating habits and even body odors. They would have had little sexual interests in one another, and even if the Neanderthal Romeo and a sapiens Juliet fell in love, they could not produce fertile children because the genetic gulf separating the two populations was already unbridgeable. The two populations remained completely distinct, and when the Neanderthals died out or were killed off, their genes died with them. According to this, sapiens replaced all the previous human populations without merging with them. If that is the case, the lineages of all contemporary humans can be traced back exclusively to East Africa 70,000 years ago. We are all pure sapiens. The period from about 70,000 years ago to about 30,000 years ago witnessed the invention of boats, oil lamps, bows and arrows and needles essential for sewing warm clothing. Most researchers believe that these unprecedented accomplishments were the product of a revolution in sapiens' cognitive abilities. The appearance of new ways of thinking and communicating between 70,000 years and 30,000 years ago constitutes the cognitive revolution. What caused it? We're not sure. The most commonly believed theory argues that accidental genetic mutations changed the inner writing of the brains of sapiens, enabling them to think in unprecedented ways and to communicate using an altogether new type of language. We might call it the tree of knowledge mutation. The most common answer is that our language is amazingly supple. We can connect a limited number of sounds and signs to produce an infinite number of sentences, each with a distinct meaning. We can thereby ingest, store, and communicate a prodigious amount of information about the surrounding world. A green monkey can yell to its comrades, "Careful, a lion." But a modern human can tell her friends that this morning, near the bend in the river, she saw a lion tracking a herd of bison. She can then describe the exact location, including the different paths leading to the area. With this information, the members of her band can put their heads together and discuss whether they should approach the river, chase the lion, and hunt the bison. The second theory agrees that our unique language evolved as a means of sharing information about the world. But the most important information that needed to be conveyed was about humans, not about lions and bison. Our language evolved as a way of gossiping. According to this theory, Homo sapiens is primarily a social animal. That's all for today. I thank you for your time, and I do look forward to reading more excerpts and content of this book moving forward. Thank you so much, and I hope to do this more often. Bye-bye.